Girl, I almost fell through the floor when I saw Mama Joyce get on that ground and do the inchworm. I said, this will be the background photo for the episode. Y'all ready to talk about Kandi in the game? Cue the music! Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debater for discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving unless you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out. Look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging? We can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just the boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video. We're here to discuss Kandi in the Game, Season 1, Episode 5, I believe it is. Yeah, I think it's like 5. Girl, look, y'all know I don't be knowing. But yeah, if it's not, it'll be right in the description. So girl, the episode opens up. They sitting there talking to Chandrika, asking her, do she really want to be here? Chandrika is basically backpedaling on all the stuff she said. And it's just like, girl, like you can be a respectful person and say what you said, but don't act like you ain't said what you said. But Drika's response is, yeah, I do want to be here. That's why I'm here. But it's just that the constant rotation of new managers coming in and out is an issue. That is definitely an issue in a restaurant because everybody has to have a cohesive relationship. Kandi, if y'all hiring somebody every 90 days, then that's a problem. You will never get the people all on one accord if you add new managers all the time. Like, people got to get to know and get comfortable with their managers so that they can form bonds and respect and all that stuff. But she tells her, look, there's basically no team here. Everybody do their own thing. Nobody really don't care. And Kandi was like, see, that's the issue. Nobody cares. And Ty was like, we're trying to do our part. No, you're not, Ty. Ty, what is your part? Let us know what your part is, Ty, with the big head. Exactly. We don't want to hear that shit. So yeah, he's talking about he's trying to do his part and he wants her to do her part. So she decides, okay, I understand. I do want to be here. And moving forward, she's going to do a better job. But she goes back to work. All this time, Mama Joyce is in the kitchen. Well, not in the kitchen, at the host stand. And people are there. And she was like, well, damn, where's the hostess? Well, the hostess, Chandrika, is over there making a video talking more shit about OLG. And this is the problem with you, Drika. It ain't even that what you're saying is wrong. It's just the fact that you can't stand on your square and say what you said. Stop talking about these people if you're not going to say what it is you need to say in their face. We move to the next scene. Dominique is over at Brandon's house. Now, Brandon looked like he cleaned up a little bit just because he knew the girl was coming. Like, he took, the socks and all that stuff off the floor. He put the clothes in the dirty clothes. He ain't wiped nothing down. He just kind of like straightened up a little bit because you can tell he a bachelor who probably don't live a clean life. Ain't nothing like a dirty man to me. I'm sorry, especially in your house. I don't care if you're a man. You got to have some type of respect about that. But he looked like he set stuff up. He got his folding chairs for the dining room. Shout out to you, Brandon. No shade, no tea. But you're the general manager. They should be paying you a little bit more than that. Anyway, but it's Kandi. I forgot. Child, please. So he's over there. She's coming over there. She comes in and she asks him how he felt when he saw her show up to the birthday party. He goes, this is when I knew you really liked me. And I was so shocked. I went from like happy to shocked to, a little bit scared. And he starts talking to her about the meeting with Brandon. He starts talking about the meeting they had at work. And she was just like, oh my God, I wasn't there. You think I'm going to get in trouble? And he was just like, no, you should be good. And it's just like, girl, Dominique, you ain't never there. And everybody's just like, how is it that she can be at this restaurant and never be there? Because that's restaurant's jobs. You can actually, you don't form leave. You don't gain leave or nothing like that. So you can actually literally have a position at a restaurant and really come in every now and again as long as you're good with the management. It happens all the time. But she lets him know that she's booked to England. She's booked to go to England for a month. And she's going to be doing a dance. She's got a gig for that. And he was just like, oh, for a month. You can tell he's not really feeling that. But she was like, I'll let you know the date. So now we know that she's got another gig. I guess, look, if you're going to be away, you might as well make the best of it, Dominique. I ain't mad at you. As long as Kandi okay with it, everybody else needs to just mind their business. The next scene, Brian and his best friend Georgia is in the house cooking. I love Brian. I love him. Brian said he'd been suspended for 2 weeks. And I said, hold up, pause. You mean they suspended you for 2 weeks for talking back? You ain't even have a fight? Like, 2 weeks? Oh, Lord. Y'all over the top with that Kandi in the Game. And I know that was probably Philip. He probably don't want him to come back at all. But he's been suspended for 2 weeks. but this time he's been putting his money and energy into his soul rolls, his soul food egg rolls. So he's been doing that, but he said he still want his little job down at OLG, child, because he need money, because it take money to make money. And when you're right, you're right. He ain't lied about nothing. So all of a sudden, a knock is at the door, and it's Drika. Drika stops by, and we find out Brian lived damn near under the airport. Child, the airplanes was flying over. I was like, well, damn, how close do you stay, Brian? Brian said he's 10 minutes from the airport. But ain't nothing wrong with that. I just couldn't deal with living there and hearing that all day and all night. But I guess maybe he get used to it. That's all I can say. But she's stopping by to tell him about what happened at work. And then Brian was like, yeah, we could do that, but I'm going to need you to come over here and roll up some of these soul food egg rolls. This is what one thing Brian will do. Promote them egg rolls when it's his time and have somebody else rolling them up. Go and do that. We can come talk and slap knees and all that stuff, but girl, you going to roll up these egg rolls. So they rolling up egg rolls, and she starts to tell him about what happened at work as far as the meeting with Kandi. And so as she's telling him that, she basically says she feels like it had to be Patrick who snitched. Because she's trying to figure out who's the person that told Kandi that what she said. But I mean, at the end of the day, how many people did you tell what you said? If you got to worry about who it could be, then that means you run your mouth to everybody. So she's thinking that it's Patrick, and Brian was like, look, I missed the meeting, but I'm damn sure coming to this team building exercise, as you should, Brian. You was on suspension. You ain't have to come to the meeting, but the team building exercise, we need you there. Let's go, Brian, because that's my favorite. We move to the next scene. Kandi and Todd is at the restaurant. But they're at one of their other locations, and they let us know that Philip is the director of operations over both OLG locations and Blaze. So when shit go bad, Philip, this is all on you. I'm just saying. But he's the DO of all those situations, and they sit down and they have a meeting with him. His whole thing is Brian is a problem. Why do you have such a hard on for Brian, Philip? Like, what is going on? At this point, the boy had been gone for 2 weeks. Like, what is the problem? Why do you have such a hard on for Brian? Like, and the fact that you just doing him dirty, I don't like that. And it's really upsetting me and my homegirls. We don't like the fact that you was going in on Brian like that. Let Brian live. Like, stop, don't do that. But Don Juan agrees that with Philip saying that Brian needs to go. No, he don't. And like Kandi said, at the end of the day, I don't think that. I think Brian is much better than Philip is describing him. Like, Philip talks about Brian like he's just the worst person in the world and the worst worker in the world. And we all know that's a lie, because the reviews, from what I've read, they all boast Brian. Everybody loves Brian. So it's a personal problem with you, Philip. It ain't got nothing to do with Brian. It's you. But Todd is with Don Juan and doggone Philip, of course. Talking about, I agree. He need to go. If he need to go, then that's just what it is. Todd, shut your ass up. Shut up. But Kandi gives him a compromise and said, look, let's invite Brian down to the team building exercise and see how that goes. If he does better, we'll leave it in Brandon's position to say if he stays or not. I'm so glad that she's putting it up to Brandon, even though Brandon don't. He's not even a good manager. But at least Brandon don't have a bias when it comes to Brian. Philip, all of them are already ready to let him go. So I feel like even if Brian would have showed up and been amazing at this team building exercise, they still would have been hating. Like, no, we still want him to go. So I like that she left it in Brandon's hands. But, you know, Brandon is not to be the most trusted when it comes to making real decisions, because he's just not a real manager. Anyway, we move to the next scene. No, before we move to the next scene, she asked him about Torrin. She was like, so what's going on with Torrin? Like, have you patched that up? And he was just like, I don't know, I haven't seen him. Well, you know, again, at the end of the day, everybody's having issues with the same person who's the common denominator. Philip, yeah, you need to check your attitude, fat. And if I was you, when you open this restaurant, you're going to lose a lot of people, because people can get restaurant jobs like that. You could mess around and start acting crazy to everybody when you open this restaurant. You're going to find yourself cooking, expediting, waiting tables, hosting, and cleaning up and every goddamn thing. Do what you need to do. We moving on to the next scene. Dominique tells the other server that she's going to London. So she's letting everybody at the job know she's going to London. And Drika meets up with Brandon and tell him about the meeting with Kandi. And she was like, I just don't know who could have told him. And I really feel like it's Patrick. And I'm just like, girl, you was on the phone with him. You ain't asked him, did he say nothing? And Brandon ain't said nothing. Brandon was just like, that's crazy. As he should. I wouldn't say nothing either. Well, anyway, now she wants to go confront Patrick. But when she looks outside, Patrick ain't nowhere near by the doggone parking lot in his folding chair waiting for the people to come and park. So she goes down the street because Brandon and Melvin are down the street at the smoothie bar getting smoothies, sitting in hammocks, chilling. Life is good. You know what I'm saying? Patrick was like, hey, you want to sit in the hammock next to me? Why you ain't sit down next to me? Like Melvin said, I'm a big boy. I know my limits, as you should. Either way, Drika shows up, and she was just like, I just wanted to know, I had a meeting with Kandi, and I felt like, Patrick, you said something. And Melvin felt played. Melvin was like, where are you getting this from? Like, you got any proof, or this is just your assumption? She was just like, well, it's my assumption, but I feel like Patrick did say something. Patrick gets in his confessionals and says, one thing about it, I ain't no snitch. And I'm so glad the producers are messy and playing back him actually snitching. Patrick, you just look so lame and childish. Even when you were sitting in that hammock, you look like a little boy. Oh, God, Patrick. I don't see it for Patrick. Either way, Melvin ain't got time for the shits. Melvin was just like, you messy, and this whole shit is messy. Don't come confront me about nothing you don't know for sure. Go find out what the hell going on, but don't come confront me about that. So she dwindles on the way off into the sunset, as she should. Like, Melvin, you was right to shut that shit down. But Patrick, you did snitch originally. You just happened to forget. Talking about you ain't no snitch. Boy, bye. Anyway, we move to the next scene. Dominique goes to get Brandon. I guess Brandon is bringing her to the airport. Because at first I was like, why is he getting in her car and she's in the passenger seat? But he's bringing her down to the airport. This is where they become official. Because Dominique goes, so are you going to not see anyone while I'm gone? And he was just like, yeah, I could do that. And so she was like, so are we going to be official? And he was like, yeah, we official. And I was just like, oh, and even Dominique was like, I got a boyfriend. It'd be funny when you first start saying that. Oh, I got a man? Oh, okay, I get it. Yay, go ahead on, Dominique. Now, how's that going to work at the job? Because that's a direct conflict of interest. Y'all already was smashing on the side and everybody knew but couldn't really, say nothing about it. But how's that going to work at the job? Because you can't be down at the job smashing your manager and saying that's your man. One of y'all ain't gonna be able to make it through, or both of y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that's not how it goes. So, but they official. So shout out to them. And Dominique, at the end of the day, you the one with the career outside of OLG. Leave Brandon there because they need him, unfortunately. And then go off and pursue your dance, girl. Go pursue your dance. Oh, and we find out the dance gig that she got was with Rick Ross because she whispered in Kandi's ear. Aww. See? This is how it works out. I am loving on Dominique. Dominique don't cause no problem except when she be smashing the manager. Other than that, that girl be chilling. She don't be having no issues with nobody, and I'm here for it. Period. We move to the next scene. Kandi is at home with Riley, Kayla, Blaze, what's the little boy name? Well, the whole family. Mama Joyce, Ty, everybody at home. It's Riley's birthday. Riley's a sophomore in college. Riley done growed up. Shout out to you, Riley, because I heard you doing well, too. Kayla is also doing well, but they're having a conversation about when they're going to take over the restaurant. Tyler's like, when y'all going to be ready to take over this restaurant, baby? Kayla said, catch me at 40. I know you ain't lying. Girl, look, I'm young in college. You think I'm trying to talk about taking over no restaurant? Child, please. And quiet as it's kept, you ain't going to take over at 40. That's a lot of work. But if you run it like Tyler, then you should be all right, because he don't do nothing anyway. But while that's going on, Mama Joy says she really thinks that Kayla should come by and work in the kitchen for one of the days. That way she can see everything that goes into making this restaurant run. And then she looks up at Ty and says, Ty, you need to do that as well because you running the restaurant, but you don't know what all it takes to get these dudes out, get the food out. Because she said, even I have worked in there and I understand how much hard work it has, how much hard work goes into making sure everything is okay. Ty was like, I'm not working in no kitchen. Ain't gonna do it. Girl, they get to the doggone confessional with OLG. Mama Joy says, see, this is why I can't stand Ty. Hell, quiet as it's kept, half of Atlanta can't stand Ty. I said, oh no, Mama Joyce. I thought y'all had done made it up, but I guess you still on your shit. Look at Aunt Bertha Nora was like, Girl, the people say they can't stand Ty. Ty, you got to do better than that. You got to do better. You can't just not, you know what I mean? they have a little back and forth anyway between him and Kandi. Kandi was like, even I've worked over there. I went over there and I bust tables and I waited tables. And so I was like, girl, you don't be in there. But I agree with Kandi. Kandi was like, you nitpick at every little thing, but you don't know everything that it takes to go into making sure everything is right. So you should work in the kitchen. Todd ain't trying to hit it. Let's move to the next scene. The next scene, they're doing their team building exercise. Now, the managers arrive first. They talk to Brandon and let Brandon know he's going to be the deciding factor if Brian is going to stay or not. Cool. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. So now everybody starts showing up. They all get together and they pick teams. We have Team Kandi and Team Todd. Team Kandi's strategy was, look, I know I should pick the best people or the people that I feel is going to help me win. But at the end of the day, this is a team building exercise. I want my team to be basically filled with the people who have the issues with team building. So she had Drika, Brian, Torin, who else she had on that team? You know, she had some other people, but that was the top 3 people she had on her team. So Patrick is over there hiding about he missed the athlete. He showed his high school football photos. Boy, that shit don't count. That was in high school. Boy, that don't count. Go late. That don't count. Anyway, but he talking about ain't nobody here an athlete or athletic. Ugh. Patrick he just makes me put my hand on my forehead like this. Patrick, you just get on my nerves and you childish. And no wonder your girlfriend is running you around like a little biatch. I would do the same. And I would make you do any and everything I wanted you to do because I can. That's just what you give. I'm sorry. So the first event, child. No, let me back up before the first event. Philip. So Brian goes over to get his flag. Because remember, Philip already said he didn't want Torin or Brian on his team. But guess what? It ain't your team. It ain't Team Philip. It's Team Kandi. Brian goes over to get his rag or his flag or whatever for the colors. And he was like, can you hand it to me? And Torin dropped it on the floor. Not Torin. Philip dropped it on the floor. Now, Kandi, I know you ain't going to discipline your managers in front of the crew, as you shouldn't. But he needs to be reprimanded for that. Again, you want respect, but don't give it. That's my problem with you, Philip. Oh, God. But anyway, they start the events. The first event is Tug of War. Team Kandi, obviously, against Team Todd. We got Big Melvin on the anchor for Team Kandi. And then we got Patrick, the athlete, on the anchor for Team Todd. Child, Team Kandi was winning until Brandon let go of the rope. He probably burned his hand. And girl, that was all. That was murder she wrote. So Team Todd won the first one. The second one is the Inchworm challenge. That's where we got Mama Joy's, child. Basically, you got to put your hands behind your back and do an Inchworm relay. Like you got to scoop kind of, I guess, to the next person and then so on and so forth. I thought that was a funny one. I don't know if I'd have been on the ground the way my boobs set up. I don't know if they would have liked being scraped and scratched across the floor. The girls don't like that type of beatings. They like the other kind. Anyway, so yeah, that was cute. So they did the relay and Team Kandi won that. I thought that was cute. Now, the best game of them all was the expediting game. If y'all don't know what expediting is, when you're in the kitchen, you got all these people cooking, you have your station set up, you'll have your fry station, which really does most of your appetizers, your frying chicken and fries and all that stuff, like the little miscellaneous stuff. Then you'll typically have your saute station that's gonna do all your pastas, all your soups and stuff like that. And then you'll have the grill, and the grill is where they put everything on the grill: your steaks, your chicken, shrimp, anything that comes off of a grill. That's the station. In order to make this work, there's an expediter. The expediter is the person on the other side of the cooking stations, and what he does, his entire job is to make sure that when you get he looks at the paper so he knows what they're ordering. He not only makes sure everything is on the plate, but he makes sure that the presentation of the plate is great. So basically he's supposed to make the food look like, he's supposed to have the food go out like the way it looks in the picture, and you have everything that you need. So according to the ticket, he's reading it from that. So that's what the expediter is. How this articulates, or how this translates into this challenge is, so now the expediter is going to basically have everybody blindfolded and set up in certain sections, just like with the kitchen, and they are to basically direct the people blindfolded to pick up the food, put them on the trays, and get them over to OLG. I think that concept is super, super, super cool. So Team Kandi goes first. Kandi is the expediter. And basically, Kandi guides them all the way to OLG. And it goes well. It really does. I think their time was like 1 minute and 46 seconds. Brian did an amazing job. Because I love Brian, I got to shout him out first. But everybody else did one too. Now, when Team Tide goes, we got Don Juan, who's the one in charge of this one. He's going to be the expediter. Don Juan, run. You got to get up, run. What you doing? Run. And even OLG was like, everybody don't do everything you want them to do. Don Juan, he blows me. Don Juan blows me. I'm sorry. Don Juan just does it to me. He don't do it to me as bad as Patrick, but he, you know. Whole time, Chandrika is enjoying the team building exercise, and basically she's like, oh snap. Philip is actually loosening up a little bit. That's what's up. But on the other side with Team Todd's team, Don Juan is telling everybody to run, and child of OLG gets to Patrick, and look at Mama Joyce said, wasn't Mama Joyce? Mama Joyce said, look like Patrick gaining weight. Aunt Bertha said, yeah, he done gained weight. Leave it up to old people to basically tell you how they feel. My grandmother to this day, child, if I was about her, she'd be like, yeah, you done picked up that weight. She will let you know. If you want to know if you lost or gained weight, go by the old people. They gonna let you know. They gonna let you know. But they gushes over Brian. They was just like, oh my God, Brian, we love Brian. We love Brian. Y'all better leave Brian alone, Philip. Leave him alone. Either way, Team Ty ended up in a tie. The wages for this game was Ty was gonna work in the kitchen if Kandi team win, and if Kandi team win, they was gonna give him money or something. I don't know. But either way, because it was a tie, they ended up. Kandi said she giving everybody $100. OLG was like, you think we gonna get $100? As y'all should. Make sure y'all have y'all hands out too. OLG. So that was the team building exercise. Brian is saying that basically he's starting to see Philip in a different light, and Philip is starting to look okay. Like he's starting to move in the neighborhood. He ain't in the house yet, but he in the neighborhood. Okay, so now the last scene we're at the restaurant. Brian comes in to have a meeting with Brandon and Philip. So Brandon and Philip sit Brian down, and Brian still doesn't understand why he was suspended for 2 weeks, or why he was suspended at all. But Brandon has to let Brian know, listen, you talk back, and that's basically not acceptable when it comes to working in a professional environment. That's true enough, but 2 weeks to me is just too extensive. But I like that Brian was like, listen, I was gone for 8 months. When I came back in, there was so many new rules implemented, I didn't know what was going on. Brandon says that he was great when he first came in, but once he left and came back, that he became a different person. Well, when he was there prior to that, Brandon, he had an addiction. So maybe the addiction that he had made him more likable because he was not in his right state of mind. But y'all can't put him back into an environment and expect the same behavior, number one, all the time. And then number two, I mean, he's sober now. Let him figure it out, and then y'all got to check Philip as well. We not about to do that. But either way, Brandon goes on to say because of the circumstances that Brian is facing, because of his history, he's going to go ahead and allow Brian to stay on. Thank you, Lord. He told him he got one write-up. If he get 2 more, he out the door. Brian, please don't get no more write-ups, because I don't even want to come eat over there because the kitchen and all that look dirty. But I will come in. No, I wouldn't even have a drink because the bar was dirty too. But I'll come over there to see you, Brian. Like, don't get fired. Just don't. And then Philip decides to step in and say his 2 cents. And I like the fact that they both apologized. Even Philip apologized. It made Brian say, you know what? He's in the basement paying rent now. He's out the neighborhood into the basement paying rent. But he in the basement. And I think that it was very mature that these 2 grown adults were able to apologize. And hopefully they can move forward. Hopefully. Move forward. Because, Philip, you just blows me. Anyway, that was the end of the episode, girl. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about Kandi and the gang. Don't you want to hang with Kandi and the gang? Let me know what y'all thought about it. I like her little intro. It's cute. It's cute. It's a real cute little vibe. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bells per usual. And let me know what y'all thought. And I will see you hoes later. Bye.